Hello and welcome to the Stitched with Love podcast. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Shannon. I am a knitter, crocheter and accounting student coming to you from Scotland. I almost said Palmerston North, which is where I used to live, but I don't live there anymore. If you are not new and you're returning, welcome back. I'm really glad that you decided to come back and stick around, and I'm really happy that you're here. So this week I don't have any finished objects. I also don't have any acquisitions. So this is purely a whip podcast. Just works in progress. But that's okay. There's some that I haven't touched, so I'm not going to show those because they don't look any different. I'm just going to show you what I've actually been able to work on this week, which sometimes looking at them, it doesn't look like a lot. But then my time's been spread out across various projects, so, you know, it does add up. So my first one, I'm just going to go through the pile. My first one is the Vardag pullover by Jarbo, and it doesn't look very different. It doesn't look much different, to be honest, from where it was last week. Just a bit longer. So where the paw print is where I was last week, roughly. Oh, the sun is making it glisten. It's sunny today, yay! Anyway, so that's where I was roughly last week. So, I mean, it's not tons, but it's some progress. This has been quite good for me if I've been watching the TV. Just because it is half brioche stitch and I'm just going around and around, so that's kind of what this has become, to be honest. It's just like my TV knit. This and the double knitting on one of my other projects has become my TV knitting because I don't need to think much about it. The wool is this giant ball that I got given when I was working at a wool shop. It's, I think, 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And basically I just need to use it. So I was like, why not knit something just nice and cozy? My cat is investigating and hopefully doesn't knock things over. Yay. Those are my glasses, leave those alone. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this really, because it doesn't look any different. I just moved my glasses out of the way and then she just jumped to where exactly I put them. Cool. Aussie. That's right, she's got down now. But yeah, that's my Vardag. Not much to write home about because I've not done too much on it, but we'll keep working. We'll keep working on it. So I'm gonna put that back in the bag. Secondly, is my other like jumper pullover. This is another open back top, yes, by Chrystelle of Another Knit. Again, doesn't really look any different. If you saw last week's podcast, you've seen what it looks like from the front, but in case you haven't seen it before. And then the back, and I am still on the same bit of double knitting. Whee, I'm tangled. Right, again, where my stitch marker is where I was last week. It's not tons, it's not a lot really at all. It's like 5 centimeters, but it's 5 centimeters more than I had, so it's still progress, even if it's not very much. I think we're at about 30 centimeters, and so halfway there on this tie, and then I've got the other one to do. So this yarn, just weaving my needle back in. This yarn is Mama Willing Plush Fingering. Oh, now I'm having to, like, the sun's great, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about it, but I've got to hold things in a certain way so that it doesn't blow out. But Ozzy, what are you doing? This is Mama Willing plush fingering, and the colourway is Deep Water. So yeah, it's knitting up lovely, and I'm looking forward to when I have this, because it will be a really nice top to have, a nice jumper to have, especially this time of year as well, where, you know, you might want to go out and you want a nice top, but it's not quite warm enough for some of the other going out tops. So, wait, she's trying to attack. Can you not? I'm putting this away before she attacks the needles again. For some reason she likes to attack my DPNs. I don't have to be knitting with them, they're just there, and she likes to attack them. But yes, no, it'd be nice to have for, you know, if you want to go out for a nice dinner or something like that. It's a little bit dressier, but I would say it'd be warmer because it's long sleeves. It'd be warmer than some of the other going out tops. So yes. I don't know what she's doing under there. She's a very young cat. She's only about a year old, so she's still kind of a kitten. So yeah, she's got the zoomies. But hey, next, because this isn't in a project bag, because I was working on this just before I came to record this podcast, is my Musselburgh hat. Now this one has had a lot of progress on it, because it is simply knitting in the round, and I am back at uni now, so I have 4 modules a semester, and each of those modules has between 1 to 3 hours of lecture a week. And yes, I do take notes during my lectures, but I mean, you're not note taking all the time, and I find if I'm just sitting there, I just cannot focus. So I've started knitting on this while I've been in class. Well, not in class. Because I'm a distance student, I watch the recordings of the live classes that they hold on campus. So I'm basically just catching up. But that's fine. That's how the online one works. If you can attend live, you're more than welcome to, but I can't really, so I just catch up. But anyway, where my stitch marker is here is where I was last week, and that is how much I've done, which looks like a lot. This here is about, I think it ended up being almost 6 hours, no, 5 hours, 5.5 hours of lecture and workshop material. Obviously not knitting the whole time because I did have to take notes, but I mean, that's a decent chunk. I'm quite happy with that. This will also be, until it's done, my on the bus to or from work knitting now that I'm back at work. So I'll have that for this, for that as well. I'm using the only pair of interchangeable Knit Pro Mindful collection needles that I have. I enjoy these are quite nice actually. 3.25, so it allows me to, because my needle sets only go down to 3.5, and I have this pair of needle tips, and I also have a pair of Symphony needle tips in the same size, so I have 2 lots of 3.25, which is quite handy because I seem to use that quite often. I need to get to a point where I just ignore the cat, I think, because she's going to be providing background noise for everything. I was sitting there earlier today watching a lecture and taking notes. Every time I moved, so whether to knit or take a note, because she was standing on the windowsill behind the curtain, I closed the curtain because the sun was too bright, and she started attacking my shoulder. So yeah, she's just in a mood, in a very playful, zoomy mood. But that's fine. I'll go play with her once I've finished recording this. But yeah, oh, the yarn. This is Mama Wooling Plush Fingering. I think this is the colourway, I think is 40. It was the one she dyed for her 40th birthday. If memory serves me correctly. Last week I couldn't remember at all. I've lost the tag, which is really not clever. But yeah, so considering that this has been on the go for a very long time, I'm glad to be working on it. And I mean, there's still quite a bit of stockinette to do, but it's coming along and it's very handy to have for class. So that's my Musselburgh hat. I'll finish off doing the stuff that I talked about last week, and then the other 2 bags are stuff that hasn't been seen yet. So in here is a pair of socks, and I finished the leg and have turned the heel, and I'm now working the foot. I think I've just realised, for some reason I thought, because I was talking about another sock last week, and I was like, oh, it's only the toe I've got to do, and then I was like, no, I have the foot to do. What am I on about? I was right the first time. It was only the toe. I don't know why I've got myself so confused. So yeah, if you watched last week's podcast, and you know, I had the little, when I edit, sometimes if I say something wrong, I'll put a note at the bottom on the screen, and I put a note saying about I actually meant the foot. I was right the first time. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Anyway, I'm working on the foot for these socks. These are quite good as well to have for, you know, on the go. I don't really take them out the house because they're on DPNs, and I don't trust myself to not lose the stitches somehow. But I mean, again, for once I finish my Musselburgh, quite good for while I'm watching recordings. And the yarn, I mean, this is a complete cake. The cake I'm using at the moment is at that point, so we started the yellow. But this is Darnit, which is a New Zealand based dyer, and this is her gradient sock. This is the Passionfruit colourway, which is part of the fruit collection. I don't actually think she is dyeing anymore, like dyeing yarn, because I went to search up and see if she had any more, and the only thing that I can find is her Facebook page, and she hasn't posted on it since 2019, and then her website doesn't work anymore. So unfortunately, I actually don't think she dyes these anymore, which is sad. But yeah, it's good fun to work with. I'm really enjoying it. So yes, on the foot for this sock, and then obviously I've got to do the second one. But that's, the colours make it so fun. Like these gradient sock cakes are so fun, because then you just want to keep knitting so you get to the next section. So so there's that sock. I just called it my Passionfruit. I called them my Passionfruit socks. Where to next? Go here. So if you watched my spring knitting plans video that I put out recently, I mentioned a pattern called the Cloudbow by Reed Keys. It's in Pom Pom Quarterly, and I have started it. There's not much to show at the moment. This is the beginning of it, but this is how it's currently working up. I am finding it a little bit fiddly, just simply because I am knitting with really thin yarn on really thick needles, or at least thick for me. They're 6.5mm needles, and so I'm finding it quite fiddly. But oh, about to lose things. But this is how we're going so far. I'm striping it, so that I can use both colours. I'm using the Mode by Rowan Alpaca Haze in these 2 colours. They were gifted to me for Christmas in the year just been. I have 3 skeins of each, which should be enough. So yeah, and it'd be nice to just have to go over like a summer top or something like that. I have the ball band in case you're interested. The sun is helpful at times, but not right now. So yeah, I was going to talk about how you kind of work it up, but I don't potentially want to give away any pattern secrets, so I won't. All I'll say again is just that this is the start. I'm going to be striping it. Doesn't look like much, but it will be once it's done. So I don't think there's much more to write about it, other than it does feel very soft. I love working with alpaca. It's one of my favourite fibres. So yeah. There's that one, and then the last one is, I think in a way it's kind of trial and error. I'm not following a pattern. I generated a colourwork chart on Stitch Fiddle, and then basically the idea behind this is I'm going to a concert soon, and I wanted to knit a cardigan with some of the lyrics on the back. Now, whether or not this will work, I really don't know. It is very much going to be, we'll see how we go. But I have started the ribbing of the back panel, because that's, the writing will be on the back. Yeah. So starting the back panel, because I thought I may as well just get that out of the way first, because that's got the colour work in it. I was very proud of myself because I did an Italian cast on for the first time successfully. And it's not the neatest looking Italian cast on, but it's an Italian cast on. I'm using quite small needles as well. These are 3.5mm needles, just because I have a really loose gauge, apparently. This is the yarn I'm using. Hi. So even though it might not look like it at the moment because I'm knitting the ribbing in this colour, this is actually the contrast colour. This will be the main colour. I cannot remember the brand. I think it was just a farm, like a local farm, had produced this and was selling it at one of the craft markets in New Zealand that I was at, and I picked some up. So it's 100% wool, non-treated. It will felt. So definitely don't throw wool like this in the washing machine unless you want it to felt. But yeah, there's not much to show on this other than here is the ribbing, and I'm going to knit the ribbing for a little bit longer and then start the colour work. So again, we'll see how we go. This is my first time, 1, knitting something without a pattern, 2, generating my own colourwork chart and incorporating that into a pattern. So we will see. We will see. Kind of interesting to see how this turns out. I'm a little bit scared, but it's fine. It's just knitting. But yeah, that is the last thing I have to show you this week. I don't have much else to really talk about, I guess. I'm back at work now. I did a shorter shift yesterday, and originally I would have been working today, but to kind of break it up and so that I can go back into work a bit slower, I'm actually off today. So slightly reduced capacity, but it is nice to be back to doing things. I had been out of action for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, so you know, we are getting there. Yeah, I don't really know what else there is to discuss really. As I said, I'm back to uni now, so my knitting habits may change, that's okay. Obviously, it's one of those things of I enjoy knitting and I always make time for it, even if it's just a little bit. But at the same time, I can't spend hours knitting on my days off when I'm not at work, because I now have lecture material and assessments and things like that. So, but fingers crossed this is meant to be my last year. So this time next year, hopefully I'll be working full time. That's the hope. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. If you've made it this far, thank you. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been working on. And until next time, enjoy your making, take care of yourself, and I'll see you then. Bye.